This boy is taking an interview for Police University. The interviewer immediately sees through Namu's identity. The boy's name is Namu. 10 years ago, Namu called the police and testified, which sent his serial killer father, John, to prison. The interviewer asks why they want to become police officers. Other candidates talk about the serial murder case from 10 years ago. They share their dreams and goals, but Namu tells everyone he wants to be a cop for redemption. His father is actually John, the serial killer from 10 years ago. The room suddenly fills with tension. People start whispering to each other. Meanwhile, a girl is auditioning for a film. The director isn't happy and is about to send her away. Then the girl acts out a scene where a murder victim reacts. She trembles and breaks into cold sweat. The director's eyes light up immediately. The girl isn't just acting well. 10 years ago, she saw her parents killed by the serial killer John. For her, just saying the lines makes her shake with fear. The interview ends. The other students whisper about Namu behind his back. Some question why a killer's son can become a police officer. Others are scared that antisocial personality disorder might be inherited. Namu walks up to them and calmly explains, antisocial personality isn't inherited. Even if you sit this close, it won't spread like a cold. People in the hallway look terrified, but Namu is used to this. At the train station, Namu sees a familiar face on the screen. Tears start falling uncontrollably. It's you. The girl's name is Jai. Their story began 10 years ago. Jai's mom was a famous actress. Her dad was a businessman. She also had a kind and handsome older brother. Tired of city life, her family moved to the countryside. But Namu wasn't as lucky. His father, John, had antisocial personality disorder. His mom died young. His stepmom is John's third wife. Namu also has a troublemaker older brother. Only Seojin, the daughter his stepmother brought with her, is somewhat normal. Namu is a kind-hearted and shy boy, even though she's not his real mom or sister. He helps at his stepmom's restaurant without being asked. He also walks Seojin to and from school. One day Namu carries Seojin on his back. As they walk home, they meet Jai, who is moving in under the cherry blossom tree. Their eyes meet. Jai falls for Namu at first sight. Namu feels his heart skip a beat for the first time. The next day at school, Jai gets in trouble for not wearing her uniform. Namu steps in to help her, but they both end up being punished. They have to run laps around the field. Playful Jai pretends to faint to escape the punishment. Back in class, Jai is seated next to Namu. Straightforward, Jai takes the lead. She asks, "Did you fall for me at first sight?" "Because I'm too pretty." Seeing Jai's sweet smile, Namu is too shy to answer. That night it rains heavily. A golden retriever blocks a truck's path. John gets out of the truck. The golden retriever keeps barking at John. Meanwhile, Jai runs out anxiously to look for her dog. She hears barking outside a house. Jai quietly goes to the basement. A boy holds a hammer. He hits the dog's cage with it. The boy is Namu. Then John suddenly appears. John glares at Jai and asks how she got in. Jai is so scared she falls to the ground. Namu knows what that look means. He knows his father's anger. Namu quickly says Jai is his classmate. John immediately changes his attitude. He gives the golden retriever back to Jai. As they leave, John stares at Jai up and down. Namu nervously holds Jai's hand. Namu says, "I'll walk my friend home." John says, "Goodbye, pretty friend." On their way back, Jai notices the wounds on Namu's hands. Seeing how Namu hides all his pain inside, Jai feels angry and sad. Jai says, "If you're hurt, say you're hurt. If it hurts, you should say it hurts." After hearing this, Namu asks Jai to forget everything tonight. He tells her to pretend not to know him. At school, the honest and cheerful Jai directly confesses her feelings to Namu. Jai says, "I like you." When this girl he just met today confesses to him, Namu freezes in shock. Namu has lived under his father's shadow his whole life. He feels worthless and afraid to make friends because John always wanted to turn him into a second cold-blooded killer. Namu knows Jai will only be safe if she stays away from him. But when Jai holds his hand, he feels warmth for the first time. At Jai's house, her mother immediately notices the loneliness in the boy's eyes. She holds Namu's hand and invites him to visit. Often, before he leaves, she gives him her scarf. Back home, John studies his son carefully. John reminds Namu not to forget his purpose. The weak get left behind. Only the strong survive. Namu nods silently. He then sees the hammer and note his father left. Destroy anything that stands in your way. If you can't do it, Dad will help you. Seeing the hammer and note, Namu knows his father is targeting Jae. Now, that day John goes to an old woman's house to fix the pipes. Seeing no one is home, John immediately gets the urge to do something bad. After finishing his job, careful, John goes to the basement, as usual, to clean up. Back at the dinner table, John talks kindly to his daughter. The news reports the old woman's murder. Hyunmoo watches the TV with a scared look. Namu also seems to know something. Hearing the news say, no traces of the killer were found. John smirks. Jae, who accidentally entered John's basement last night, doesn't pretend not to know Namu, like he told her to. Instead, she reaches out more, asking about the wound on Namu's hand. Namu keeps his cold, distant expression. Back in class, he sees the ointment Jae prepared for him. This cheerful, warm-hearted girl makes Namu want to protect her. For the first time at the restaurant, the stepmom hears village women gossiping about seeing John often approaching young women at night. Angry, she decides to follow John after work. Seeing a girl alone at the bus stop, John offers her a ride, but the girl refuses. John drives a short distance away, but then has evil thoughts. He gets out of the car and forces the girl inside. The stepmother follows John to his dog farm. She fails to catch him cheating. Instead, she sees John covered in blood. She runs away in terror. John almost notices her. Meanwhile, Hyunmoo gets sent to juvenile detention again for beating up classmates. John ignores the phone call about it. Only Namu quietly packs his brother's things. He secretly slips some money to Hyunmoo. Since childhood, Hyunmoo always got into fights like a troublemaker. But John believes Namu is more likely to become a killer. Hyunmoo feels unloved and unappreciated. He hates Namu even more. The stepmother rushes home in panic. She quickly packs her bags. She plans to escape with her daughter, but she meets Namu returning home. She begs Namu to let them go. Then John drives back. Namu distracts his father. He reaches out and tells his stepmother to run far away. Namu says, "Don't let my father find you, no matter what." Namu also thanks his stepmom for raising him all these years. "You became a mother to me. I'm truly grateful." With that, Namu sadly watches his stepmom and sister leave, but he stays behind in his own hell. 10 years ago, Jae saw the serial killer murder her parents. To move on, she changed her name and became a minor celebrity. But a reporter digs up her past. He keeps asking about that night's details. He even suggests she could use the tragedy for fame to boost her career under flashing cameras. Jae's PTSD kicks in. Her legs give out. Then a cop pushes through the crowd. Namu catches Jae. He glares at the reporter. "Turn off the recorder. Put the cameras away." Their eyes meet. Tears well up. Jae instantly recognizes him. The son of the killer, John, and her first love, Namu. Before she can speak, she faints. Namu carries her to the infirmary. He takes off his jacket and covers Jae with it. Even after 10 years, Namu still blames himself. He knows he shouldn't appear before Jae. All he can do is try to make up for his mistakes. On that Christmas Eve 10 years ago, John killed Jae's parents right in front of her. He was about to hurt Jae too when Namu arrived just in time. He tells his father he already called the police. Then he hugs Jae. His hand goes into his pocket. He threatens his father. "Wanna try me?" John raises his hammer. The next second, Jae wakes up from the nightmare. She wakes up from the nightmare. When she wakes up, Namu is gone. She anxiously asks everyone about him. She hears Namu often sits alone in the rest area. Jae goes to the rest area. Then she looks up and notices her poster on the vending machine. These lovers who can't be together. Namu can only look at her poster. Every day she waits long, but Namu doesn't come. Her manager tells Jae many reporters are coming after her. While waiting for her car, she notices someone cleaned her shoes. Namu can only watch Jae from afar. A crowd of reporters rush to catch Jae. They fight to interview her for an exclusive story. Then Namu makes a bold entrance. He blocks the reporters' cars. Alone, Jae looks back at Namu in the distance. It feels like this moment takes them back to the day they first met under the same cherry blossom tree, with the same glance. The serial killer John is in prison. He teams up with Reporter Park to write and publish his autobiography. With Reporter Park's encouragement, John's book becomes a bestseller. Reporter Park wants to keep the momentum going. She plans to make a documentary. She thinks the story of a killer father and his top police academy graduate son will spark public interest. She even threatens to reveal Namu's face. John feels Reporter Park is going too far. She is targeting his beloved son. John won't let this slide. After his father's arrest, Namu lives with his stepmother and sister in the countryside. When John's book becomes popular, reporters rush to his stepmother's restaurant. They keep asking questions. They want to know how she feels about John's autobiography. They also ask about Namu, who studies at the police academy. His stepmother gets angry and kicks them out. Namu trains hard at the police academy. He gets top grades. Today he leads the honor guard in a drill. The reporters soon realize Namu is the son of Killer John. She grabs the chance to interview Namu. She makes a suggestion: killers have rights too and deserve sympathy. If the world never shows them sympathy, more killers will keep appearing. Namu argues with the reporter, don't expect anything from killers. His father has no conscience. He feels no guilt or emotions. The apology in his book is fake. It's just for publicity. Namu gives the reporter an example. If I hurt you too right now, would I still get your sympathy? The reporter says, what kind of talk is this? Namu says, now that you imagine being victims, your opinion changes. The reporters have no reply. Meanwhile, reporter Park finds Jae. To make her documentary more dramatic, she plans to include Jae and Namu's story. in the documentary. Then she calls Jae's brother. She invites him to give an interview as a victim's family member. She purposely mentions how Jae and Namu met at school. At the police academy graduation ceremony, Namu receives the highest honor medal from the president. As he turns around, you liar. Everything you said on TV was fake. Don't give him the award. Angry people throw rotten eggs. They hit the medal given by the president. Someone screams, you don't deserve to be a cop. Reporter Park secretly takes Namu's photo in the chaos. She smiles with satisfaction. The protesters get kicked out of the venue. Namu runs after them. He tells the guards to let them go. Namu takes off his hat. He bows to apologize to the victims' families. A man suddenly pushes Namu down. He pins Namu to the ground and punches him. Namu doesn't fight back at all. He quietly accepts everything. Jae watches this scene from a distance. Then Namu's stepmother and sister rush into the crowd. His stepmother hugs Namu. Namu's stepmom speaks to the angry crowd. Namu is nothing like his father. He stopped his father's autobiography from being published. He worked hard to become a cop. He's trying to make up for the past. Don't blame Namu for his father's crimes. His father was a killer, but Namu isn't. Namu calmly comforts his stepmom and sister. Then he bows to apologize again. All this time Namu quietly bears everything alone. Namu stumbles as he walks home. Suddenly Jae runs out and hugs him. Jae sees Namu's injuries. She says, I told you to speak up when you're in pain. You don't have to suffer alone. Facing this girl whose happiness was destroyed by his father, Namu is too ashamed to speak. Reporter Park arrives and takes photos of them. Namu shields Jae to hide her face. Reporter Park tries to get closer, but Jae's brother stops him. The brother pulls Jae away from Namu. He warns Namu to stay away from his sister. Namu stays silent. He watches Jae leave helplessly. Reporter Park smells gossip. He asks Namu about his relationship with Jae. Do you two still have feelings for each other? He asks. Namu angrily turns around. He grabs the camera and smashes it. He warns Reporter Park, don't bother Jae again. Reporter Park tells Namu instead, you're also to blame for Jae's tragedy. You knew your father was a monster, yet you still liked Jae. That made her the monster's target. Now she's lost her parents. Namu doesn't argue back. He stands there frozen. He returns to the nurse's office. His stepmom wipes dirt off his clothes. She looks sadly at the cuts on his face. Namu comforts her. I'm okay. His stepmom knows he's suffered too much. She says, don't hold back your tears. It's okay to cry. Cry when you're sad. Hug when you're tired. Everyone does that. Namu is grateful to his stepmom and sister. They always stay by his side. But then he looks out the window. He sees classmates with their happy families. He thinks about Jae's situation. I'm sorry, because I liked you. Namu tries to stop his father's book release. Namu even shows his face in public. He gives a TV interview. He wants to expose his father's true nature. After his serial killer father's book gets published, people keep leaving copies at Namu's dorm every day. And no matter how hard Namu tries to live normally, his father's shadow always follows him. Namu keeps looking at Jae's posters to find strength to go on. After years of hard work, Jae becomes a famous star from a small actress. Today is the day she gets nominated for Best New Actress. Meanwhile, Namu chases a suspect. While protecting a hostage, Namu gets stabbed by the suspect. After catching the suspect, Namu goes to the hospital alone to treat his wound, but he sees Ji lying on the next bed. Namu watches Jae sleep before falling asleep himself. When he wakes up, the next bed is empty. Namu thinks it was his imagination. Namu walks to the lobby. He sees news about Jae fainting and being hospitalized on TV. Now he knows it wasn't his imagination. Earlier, Jae returned backstage and received a card and gift. When she opens the gift box, she finds a bloody hammer inside. This is the same hammer John used to kill Jae's parents 10 years ago. Jae suddenly remembers pieces from that night. She faints from fear. Namu sees the news. After getting his wounds treated at the hospital, he anxiously looks for Jae everywhere. When Jae wakes up, reporters immediately surround her. They keep asking why she fainted. Jae's PTSD acts up again. Namu pushes through the crowd and holds Jae. He asks about her condition with concern. Jae remembers their childhood promise. Jae said her dream was to become an actress like her mom. That way, even if they lost contact someday, Namu could still see her on TV. Jae also made Namu promise. If we ever get separated, you must come find me first. I'll come find you too. Promise. Namu kept his word. But since they can't reveal their relationship, Jae tells reporters Namu is just a fan. Reporter Park sees this happen. Jae's manager quickly sends reporters away and takes her. After her parents died, Jae only had her brother. Her brother is a fair prosecutor, but he's too busy to spend much time with her. Jae doesn't tell him about fainting. She doesn't tell him about her fainting spells all these years in prison. John keeps sending letters to Jae. After leaving the hospital, Namu goes alone to watch Jae's movie. It's the only thing that comforts him. His stepmom just closed her stall and sees Namu return injured. Her heart aches for him. Namu makes up a simple excuse to brush it off. He asks his stepmom to hug him. He says he met someone he shouldn't see today. She understands, but doesn't ask. She just holds him tightly. Meanwhile, John meets his eldest son, Hyunmoo, in prison. John still worries about Namu. Hyunmoo can't understand why. His whole life he's tried to prove he's the worthy successor. Why does their father always favor that righteous Namu? What does that guy even have? He's the one who put Dad in jail. He even cursed at Dad on TV. What does that guy even have? John grabs Hyunmoo's collar, calling him stupid. That's why you'll never be my real son. John tells him to be a proper brother. After getting out of prison, angry Hyunmoo takes his frustration out on someone. John secretly smiles seeing his trick worked. Jae brings the weapon she received. She goes to the police station to report it. Namu takes the case. This is the first time Namu meets Jae as a police officer. Namu asks if Jae minds him handling her case. Jae tells Namu she feels safer because it's him. I will protect you. You don't have to protect me. I can protect myself. So please be careful too. After Jae leaves, the police quickly analyze the blood and fingerprints on the weapon. They suspect someone is copying crimes. They think John is involved. The fingerprint results show the suspect is a drug addict. He admits to the recent hammer attacks and threatening Jae. But Namu sees he's not the real culprit. Namu gives the suspect a knife and even holds his hand to stab himself. The suspect's hands shake in fear. Finally, he admits he was paid to do this job. The person who hired him is Hyunmoo, who just got out of prison. After being released, Hyunmoo keeps lurking around Namu. He visits his stepmom's restaurant, pretending to be a customer. He gives her a hard time and says mean things. When his stepmom recognizes him, she asks with concern why he didn't come to her after prison where he lives, and if he's eating well. Hyunmoo angrily tells them he's here for revenge. I'm going to kill that guy. His stepmom knows Hyunmoo isn't truly bad. She begs him to stay and live with them. But then she spots blood on his shoes. Worried, she asks what bad thing he's done. Hyunmoo tells her to mind her own business. He says Jae's parents died because they meddled. His stepmom slaps him hard in anger. How dare you insult them, she yells. Are you even human anymore? Hyunmoo vents his rage by smashing things in the shop. His sister runs and hugs him, crying. Hyunmoo, stop. Can't you just end this now? Hyunmoo storms out. Namu calls to confirm Hyunmoo's early release. He adds Hyunmoo to the wanted list. Later, Namu goes to Jae's film set and shows Hyunmoo's photo. Have you seen this man? Hyunmoo has been released from prison early. So Namu lists Hyunmoo as a suspect and starts searching for him. Later, Namu goes to Jae's filming set. He shows Jae Hyunmoo's photo. He tells her to stay away from Hyunmoo and call the police if she sees him. Namu feels guilty. 10 years ago, his father killed Jae's parents. Now his brother is threatening Jae again. But Jae kneels down to comfort Namu, just like before. She says none of this is his fault. Hyunwoo's apartment is filled with Jae's photos and newspaper clippings. Hyunwoo knows Namu's weakness, so he plans to hurt Jae first. Late at night, Jae gets a text from the director. He asks her to come to the set alone. But when she arrives, no one is there. She walks inside. What she sees shocks her. The place looks exactly like her parents' murder scene 10 years ago. The same Christmas tree, the same family photo, the same music. Then a person in black approaches with a hammer. This brings back Jae's terrifying memories. She curls up in fear in the corner. Namu sees Hyunwoo on the security camera. Then Jae's tracking device starts beeping loudly. Namu rushes to the filming set. He crashes through the set's door with his car. He looks everywhere for Jae. He finds Jae shaking in a corner of the room. Namu hugs Jae, feeling guilty and heartbroken. The man in black is gone. Namu can't bear the thought of Jae getting hurt again. He holds Jae tightly and takes her home himself. Even though she's home now, Jae still sees and hears things that aren't there. She doesn't want Namu to worry. She thanks him politely and says she's fine. But Namu knows Jae too well. Namu says, "Should I stay? I'll stay. I won't leave." Jae holds on to Namu tightly. Only this can calm her down. Namu covers Jae's ears. He tells her to just look at him and not think about anything else. Jae speaks her true feelings. If others heard this, they'd say I'm crazy. Even if it was really your brother Hyunwoo who did it. Meeting you again makes me happy. Jae wants Namu to stop blaming himself. Namu tells Jae, no matter when or what happens, if you ever need me, you can use me anytime. That if you get tired of me, you can just leave me behind. They both try to comfort each other in their own ways. Reporter Park learns about what happened to Jae on set. He immediately calls Jae's brother. He tells him the person threatening Jae is Namu's brother, Hyunwoo. Reporter Park wants to use this chance to make Namu and Jae turn against each other. This will make the documentary more interesting. When Jae's brother rushes home, he sees Namu at the door. He tells Namu again to stay away from Jae and to stop working on this case. But Namu firmly tells Jae's brother, no matter what it takes, he will protect Jae and keep her safe. The police quickly find Hyunwoo's hideout using clues. But when Namu arrives, the place is already empty. Hyunwoo boldly calls Namu. Hyunwoo tells Namu, Jae is just the first target. Next he will go after other people close to Namu. Namu warns Hyunwoo not to hurt Jae. He should come after him instead. Meanwhile in prison, John gets a letter with photos of Jae's attack scene. He smiles with satisfaction. Namu checks the security cameras around Jae's house. Jae unexpectedly sees him when she steps outside. Jae asks, "What are you doing? It's raining, but you're not even using an umbrella. If you're worried about me, just say it directly." Namu always protects Jae quietly, in his own way. He even checks the doors and windows at Jae's house. A senior actress visiting Jae sees Namu staying by Jae's side. She leaves soon after, feeling relieved. Namu escorts the senior actress out. Before leaving, she teases Namu. "Other than Jae, you've never dated another woman, have you?" Namu says, She adds, "I can tell you've never held another woman's hand." She tells Namu to protect Jae. Well, but when Namu returns to the garage, "How have you been, Namu?" Hyunwoo greets his brother warmly. He shows Namu the same hammer John has, and says he'll kill Jae here today. Namu begs his brother to stop making mistakes. But Hyunwoo believes that 10 years ago Jae's family caused trouble by interfering. This made their father angry. Then Namu reported their father to protect Jae. This destroyed their family. Hyunwoo believes he is the real victim, so he wants revenge on Namu and Jae. Namu asks Hyunwoo if he was the one who scared Jae at the filming site because the song played there. Only the three of them knew about it 10 years ago. So Namu thinks Hyunwoo didn't do it. But Hyunwoo insists it was him. The two brothers start fighting. Namu avoids hitting Hyunwoo. He keeps telling Hyunwoo to stop. "Dad is a murderer, Hyunwoo." Namu also tells Hyunwoo their father never protected them. But their stepmom never gave up. She kept sending letters to Hyunwoo in prison. Doesn't this prove who our real family is? But Hyunwoo remembers how his father favored him with kind words and actions. Hyunwoo refuses to listen. Jae arrives at the garage door. She hears them fighting. Namu blocks the door and tells her to stay inside. Hyunwoo grabs a knife and stabs Namu. Namu holds Hyunwoo, begging him to stop. Hyunwoo sees his brother bleeding badly. He panics, drops the knife, and runs away. Jae rushes to help. She stops the bleeding and calls the police. A stranger walks into the garage. He asks Jae, with a creepy smile, if she needs help. Namu is rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. The stranger from earlier takes photos outside the operating room. Jae looks at her blood-covered hands and hides fearfully in the stairwell. Namu's stepmom enters. She wipes the blood off Jae's hands. She apologizes to Jae, but Jae says the killer should apologize, not her or Namu. Hyunmoo, covered in blood, panics and pounds on the restaurant door. Then he smashes the glass and breaks in. He grabs a bottle of soju and drinks it all. He opens the cash register and takes all the money. Hyunmoo spots a family photo on the table. After trashing his stepmom's restaurant, Hyunmoo runs to her house. There he meets his sister coming home. She yells, "Are you even human? If you want to die, just go die," Hyunmoo asks. So did he survive? Deep down, Hyunmoo still worries about his brother. He's only acting this way to impress his killer, Father John. After learning Namu's surgery succeeded, Hyunmoo warns his sister not to call the police. Hyunmoo looks at the messy restaurant. His stepmom knows Hyunmoo is not a bad person at heart. It's John who keeps pushing him. That's why he became like this. The stepmom gathers her courage. She visits John in prison for the first time. John says, "You're still so beautiful. Because of you, Hyunmoo did something terrible, do you know?" John quickly guesses Hyunmoo hurt Namu. He even praises Hyunmoo for finally acting like a real brother. The stepmom scolds John. She calls him a monster who doesn't deserve to be a father. She tells John that from now on these two brothers are her sons. She begs him to stop tormenting them. John just laughs and says, "After seeing me kill at the dog farm 10 years ago, you should have called the police. But you ran away instead, letting me keep killing. That's why we're family, bound together by fate. Do you know why I let you live? Because I like your scent." The stepmom feels sick hearing this. She tells John to stop lying to himself. Namu is no longer his son. He grew up to be a good person. He'll never become what John wants. Then the stepmother warns John, "If you touch my children again, even if I have to come in here, I will tear your arms and legs into pieces, one by one." John says, "As my wife, you sure have that fierce side. That's what made me fall for you. See you next time, wife." After meeting John, the stepmother visits Namu in the hospital. She tells Namu not to carry everything alone. She will convince Hyunmoo to turn himself in. She also promises to be a real mother to him. Meanwhile, Reporter Park's documentary airs. It gets a lot of attention. She reveals Namu and Jae's connection. She also reports the recent threats against Jae. She points out Hyunmoo as the main suspect. The complicated ties between the two families make the show's ratings soar. She even digs into Jae's brother's past. Turns out he's not Jae's real brother. His parents were killed when he was young, and Jae's parents adopted him. Reporter Park doesn't forget John either. She shows the public that when John was arrested, he had signs of being attacked, but the police erased this from the records. It seems they're hiding something. John in prison sees the show. He gets extremely angry. He grabs a guard to take out his anger. This drunk man is being watched. Hyunmoo follows him, ready to act, but a man in black suddenly appears and strikes first. The man in black removes his mask and mocks Hyunmoo for being weak. Hyunmoo failed to kill several times before the man in black finished the job for him. The threats to Jae also came from him. He says Hyunmoo isn't fit to be John's son. Turns out he's John's crazy fan. He even calls himself John's adopted son. He studied John's autobiography in prison. He learned John's methods all to become the next killer. Seeing the drunk man still moving, he hits him again with a hammer. He tells Hyunmoo his next target is Hyunmoo's stepmom and sister. Hyunmoo panics, but can't call the police. He secretly watches over his sister and stepmom. "If you don't mess up, you won't get hurt." Reporter Park visits the prison again to find out about John's head injury. But John says nothing. Reporter Park mocks him. "You're just a trash criminal. And I'm the one who made you famous. I'm the one who made you who you are," John tells Reporter Park. "You only became famous because you reported my crimes. Don't act so proud." Reporter Park walks up to John. "Wake up and face the truth. Your time is over now. You're just a rat waiting to die in prison." This makes John furious. John stands up and grabs Reporter Park's neck. Luckily, the guards stop him in time. Reporter Park threatens to sue John. John just smiles and says goodbye, Reporter Park. After Reporter Park's show airs, Jae visits Namu in the hospital. Jae tells Namu to focus on being happy from now on, no matter what others say. They both try to forget their guilt for now and just look at each other, even for one day. But Namu still feels guilty. He can't fully accept their feelings yet. Namu thinks for a long time in bed. Then he gets up to find Jae. He agrees to spend one day together. Jae happily hugs Namu. Today is their first real date. They both dress up nicely. Jae can't stop staring at Namu as they walk. She keeps moving closer to him. This makes Namu very shy. When they stop at a red light, Namu quickly grabs a water bottle to cool down. Jae asks him, "Have you really never dated anyone other than me? Have you never been with another girl?" Namu nervously chugs the water. The way they look at each other reminds them of their shy younger selves 10 years ago. Jae takes Namu to a forest. She says, "Whenever I felt sad these years, I came here." In Korean, Namu sounds like tree. So being here makes me feel like you're everywhere. It makes me feel safe. Namu calls out to Jae, "Jae, you're like my paradise." The young couple goes on a date at an amusement park. Jae pulls Namu and says, "Let's ride the pirate ship." Namu says, "It's too high." Jae asks, "What? Are you scared?" Namu replies, "Yeah." Jae then drags him to the swing ride. "Can't you handle this one either?" Namu replies, "Yeah." She points to the side. She asks, "This one should be okay, right?" Namu gets on the merry-go-round. Namu looks at the amusement park with happy eyes. To others, Namu seems fearless. He's a tough detective, but at the amusement park he's just a gentle big boy. Their date is so sweet it could make you smile too much to win Jae's favorite stuffed toy. Namu shows his amazing shooting skills. Jae looks at him with admiration. Namu gets a call from the police station. He turns around, and Jae is gone. Namu searches the park like crazy, but actually Jae is hiding in a corner to avoid fans taking photos. Seeing Namu so worried from afar, Jae feels even more sure about being with him. On their way back, Namu looks serious. They must return to reality and face unfair fate. Again, Namu gathers courage and moves closer to Jae. Then the police station calls again while they were on their date. Reporter Park makes bold claims on TV. He says John's head injury when arrested was from Namu fighting back that night. Reporter Park wants to prove that antisocial behavior runs in families. Suddenly, Namu and John are in the spotlight again. Hyunmoo watches the show. Now he understands why his father always said Namu is the one most like him. Namu hangs up the phone and tells Jae he's okay. Then he walks her home. He remembers Jae's words to him before. "When you're in pain and can't take it anymore, come find me." Namu turns around immediately. After holding back for so long, he finally speaks his heart. "I feel terrible. Seeing you hurts. But not seeing you drives me crazy. I just can't take it anymore. I like you, Jae. I like you so much it's crazy. Jae, I really like you." Jae says, "I like you too. I know I'm crazy too. But it's okay. This love, where both run toward each other and save each other, finally begins the next day." Namu sees Leader Mike at work. Namu knows Leader Mike protected him years ago by destroying evidence of John's injury. Leader Mike says he doesn't regret it. He tells Namu to ignore the outside noise. Namu is grateful for Leader Mike's care for him and his mom all these years. Namu is very grateful. Because Reporter Park files a lawsuit, John is taken to the police station for questioning. By chance he meets his youngest son, Namu, at the door after 10 years. But he sees Namu laughing and talking with Leader Mike. It's a smile he has never seen before. Suddenly John's eyes fill with anger. Reporter Park just parks her car and prepares to go home. A man in black walks toward her. But Reporter Park isn't scared at all. Instead she smiles. From many conversations with the killer, John, Reporter Park learns Hyunmoo seems like a troublemaker, but he doesn't have the guts to kill. Then Reporter Park takes Hyunmoo home. She turns on the recorder and tries to get some shocking details about John from Hyunmoo. Just then the doorbell rings. Reporter Park thinks it's a delivery, so she tells Hyunmoo to hide in another room. As Reporter Park gets close to the door, the lock opens by itself. John's stepson walks in easily and greets Reporter Park. Then he swings a hammer at her. The stepson gives John's message saying, "Reporter Park did what she was supposed to do. Now you dare to do things you shouldn't." Reporter Park begs for mercy and offers a deal, but the foster son swings the hammer before she finishes. When Hyunmoo comes out, Reporter Park is already dead. The foster son tells Hyunmoo his next targets. They are Jae and Namu's stepmom. Before leaving he mocks Hyunmoo. "You should run too, bro. After all, you can't call the police." Hyunmoo knocks things off the table in panic. A camera falls out. Hyunmoo runs from the crime scene. He rushes to check on his stepmom's safety. The restaurant is empty. Hyunmoo tries to break the door in fear. His stepmom appears in the distance. She doesn't know why Hyunmoo is here. He says, everyone else is gone. How greedy are you for money? You work alone this late, every night. Aren't you scared at all? The stepmom knows Hyunmoo is worried about her. She holds his hand and urges him to turn himself in. But Hyunmoo tells her to call the police instead. That way officers will patrol the area. They can protect his stepmom. Leader Mike arrives. Hyunmoo runs away in fear. Soon police learn about Reporter Park's murder. They arrive at the crime scene. Namu sees the same weapon his father used. He knows this is a copy of John's crimes. Police check nearby cameras. 2 suspects entered Reporter Park's house at different times. One is clearly Hyunmoo. After checking the other suspect, they find he's the man who joined John in prison activities for 3 years. He's John's adopted son. Namu gets info about the adopted son. He patrols near the man's home. The adopted son attacks from behind. Seeing the weapon, Namu confirms his identity that he starts mocking him. That hammer. Are you copying John? Looks like child's play to me. The adopted son gets angry and they fight. But he's no match for Namu. Namu quickly knocks him down. Losing the fight, he plays dirty. He grabs a passing student. Namu jumps in to block the attack. After reading John's book, this woman falls deeply in love with him. She teams up with John's adopted son to help John escape prison. After escaping Namu, the adopted son gets called by police for questioning next day. But the godson is prepared. The godson is actually rich. His lawyer clears all suspicion against him. The godson even taunts Namu. But Namu tells him, I met someone yesterday, but he was boring. He looked really weak. It was kind of sad to see. The godson stands up to argue back. His lawyer stops him from responding. They leave quietly that night. Namu's sister walks home. The godson suddenly blocks her way. He brings greetings from John. The godson raises a hammer. Hyunmoo jumps in and takes the hit. He's been watching over his stepmom and sister. Hyunmoo stays close to protect them. Hyunmoo threatens, hurt my sister, and I'll kill you. People notice them fighting. The godson runs away. Hyunmoo gets hit by the hammer. His sister wants to take him to the hospital, but Hyunmoo refuses and walks away. Meanwhile, Jae finishes filming. An older actor jokes with her. He offers to teach her acting. Just then the bossy Namu appears. Namu pushes the senior actor's hand away. He glares at the senior actor angrily. Jae says, this is my boyfriend. Jae helps to smooth things over. The senior actor jokes that Namu is quite good looking. Namu fires back. If we're judging by actor standards, you're not that handsome. This leaves the senior actor speechless. Namu warns him, others might misunderstand. It makes people uncomfortable. It's neither gentlemanly nor polite. The senior actor snaps. Is your boyfriend always this talky? Jae is actually happy to see Namu jealous and angry. Back home, Namu turns into a puppy again. He looks at Jae with sad eyes. Jae calms him down with one gesture. They live ordinary days like this. They get jealous, angry, and argue, but they feel very happy. From now on, they plan to slowly make up for all the sweet moments they missed. The stepmother is packing up her stall. She looks around waiting for Hyunmoo to appear. A woman bumps into the stepmother. The stepmother bows to apologize. The woman says something mean and walks away. You smell like pork. On the prison transport bus, John sees a red rope by the road. He grabs the seat in front of him. He braces for impact. Suddenly the bus hits some wires wrapped around its tires. It loses control and crashes. John breaks a window and jumps out. Looking at the mountain view, he says, now, this is what life should feel like. Smart John doesn't run away yet. He waits for the police to take him to the hospital. Because at the hospital, a woman who admires John is already disguised as a nurse, ready to help. She secretly gives John a wire in his room. John picks the handcuffs and knocks out the guard. He meets his foster son in the stairway. Killer John escapes without trouble. News of John's escape spreads fast. People feel scared and worried. Namu's stepmom and Jae are in the most danger. John's main goal now is to cut off Namu's emotional ties. He wants to turn Namu into a killer like him. Hyunmoo sees the news and decides to act. He takes a camera he found at Reporter Park's house to Jae's brother. He hopes Jae's brother can use this evidence to catch John's adopted son and stop John from killing more people. Hyunmoo smiles and says they're similar. I lost my family because I was in prison. You survived alone because you came home late. Don't you also feel that you failed to protect your family? You lost your parents twice. I can't escape my father, even in death. You want to protect your sister. I want to get rid of my brother. You became like this after killing someone. I became like this because I wanted to kill. Think about it. We're actually quite similar. These words express Jae's brother's long-hidden feelings. As a child, he saw his parents murdered. He killed the killer in self-defense. This trauma has haunted him for years. Namu arrives and tells Jae he will stop John and keep her safe. So, Jae, please don't avoid me. Okay. Jae hugs Namu to comfort him, saying she's okay. She won't hide anymore. To protect Jae, Namu decides to move into her house. Jae's brother visits Namu as a prosecutor. He tells him about the camera evidence. It can clear Hyunmu's name for the first time. He asks Namu to protect Jae. Well, John comes near his stepmother's restaurant. He sees Leader Mike laughing with his woman. His long-held anger turns into murderous thoughts that Jae is about to get out of the car. Suddenly she notices someone outside. A man in black smashes the window to attack her. Namu arrives just in time to stop him. Namu says, "How dare you touch Jae?" Namu fights fiercely and takes the man's hammer. He pushes the attacker against the wall. Namu glares at him with angry eyes. The adopted son gets so scared he wets himself. Now he understands why John values Namu so much. Because Namu's potential is even greater than John's. Just as Namu raises a knife to stab him, Namu snaps out of it. He finally understands why his father always said he was most like him. Jae bandages Namu's wounds. But Namu keeps thinking about how scary he looked. Jae says, no matter what happens, never lose control because of anger. Namu promises Jae he'll never be like that again. Leader Mike and his stepmom bring homemade lunchboxes. Leader Mike just hangs up the phone. He notices his stepmom has walked far ahead. Leader Mike quickly follows her, but a car stops him, pretending to ask for directions. Then John gets out from the back seat and hits him with a hammer. John yells at Leader Mike, "How dare someone like you touch my wife and son?" Seeing the lunchbox at the door, Namu thinks Leader Mike can't be far. He runs after him. But when Namu arrives, Leader Mike is lying in a pool of blood. John leaves satisfied with what he's done before dying. Leader Mike tells Namu, "You and John are different people. Don't lose your way because of me. Tell your mom not to cry too much." Namu looks at Leader Mike, who treated him like his own son for 10 years. Now killed by his real father, Namu is furious. He goes to the detention center. He grabs his foster son by the throat, demanding John's address. The foster son insists he doesn't know. He doesn't realize. Namu can't control his anger anymore. "You used this hand to swing the hammer right. Should I break each finger one by one? You're crazy. It hasn't even started yet. 4 fingers left." The godson gives up and confesses one small mistake. John sneaks into his stepmom's house while she's off guard. He plans to hurt her. The stepmom tells John that even if he kills her, Namu won't become the person he wants. But John disagrees. Meanwhile, Hyunmu hears John is hurting people again. He rushes to find his stepmom. Seeing the restaurant closed, Hyunmu feels something's wrong. That on his way to her house, Hyunmu imagines their happy family of 4. Now he finally understands who his real family is. As John finishes talking and moves to attack, Hyunmu bursts in. He begs his father to spare her. Hyunmu says, "Dad, can't you stop now? No matter what, she raised me and Namu." John swings his hammer down. He says weak people don't deserve to be his children. John forces Hyunmu to watch him kill. As John raises the hammer to hit his stepmom, Hyunmu jumps in front of her. "Why do you have to kill her?" he cries furious. John grabs the hammer again. The stepmom shields Hyunmu with her body. Hyunmu shouts, "Mom." John remembers how Namu once protected Jae. John can't understand why both his sons protect others. They go against their own father. Hyunmu says, "Do you really not need children? You never protected me and Namu, did you?" Hyunmu says, "Why does this aunt, who isn't even related to me, feel more like family, more like a mother, Dad? You used to be my whole world. I really do. I mean nothing to you." After hearing Hyunmu's words, John decides to kill him and his stepmother together. John thinks this will hurt Namu even more. Just as John is about to act, his lover outside calls to warn him. The police are coming. John has no choice but to stop. Hyunmu and his stepmother survive after facing death. Mother and son open up and speak honestly. The stepmother tells Hyunmu to accept his punishment. The family will wait for him to come back at the police station. Namu pressures John's godson for his hiding place. Namu says, "Because you're weak and pathetic, John is using you." John was never strong. Namu tells him that to protect Jae, he once attacked his own father. To Namu, John isn't strong. He's just a weak murderer. After finding out where John lives, Namu brings the police there, but John has already run away. He leaves the last page of his diary behind. It says, "My dear son, keep our unfinished story in your heart." Namu visits the injured Hyunmoo in the hospital. Namu says he is just like his stepmom and sister. They will wait for Hyunmoo to come back. Hyunmoo tells Namu to stay true to himself. He shouldn't become the person his father wanted him to be. Back at home, Jae prepares a meal for them. She also playfully flirts with him. Jae says, "My boyfriend is so handsome. His eyes, nose and lips are all perfect. And the hands that saved me too." Namu and Jae make plans to visit her parents' graves together the next day. The next day, as Namu is about to leave, he gets a call from John's girlfriend. She says she wants to turn herself in, but it's a trap. Meanwhile, Jae and her manager get stopped on their way to the cemetery. The police officer with them checks the situation, but John's girlfriend quickly knocks him out with a needle. John also overpowers the other officer. They kidnap Jae. Namu, who was tricked into leaving, gets a call from John. Namu feels hopeless. He follows his father's orders and goes to the cemetery. Namu hands over his phone. Then Namu receives a gift prepared by his father. Namu knows this fight between good and evil. He must be the one to end it. Jae sees John again, the man who killed her father. She immediately demands an apology. Her happy family was destroyed because of John's madness. Everything fell apart. But to John they are just his prey. John tells Jae he'll kill her in front of Namu. He wants to cut Namu's emotional ties. But Jae says the same thing as her stepmom did. "Even if you kill me, Namu will never become like you." Jae's brother comes to the hospital to find John's hideout. Hyunmoo says John often took Namu to their old dog farm as a child. Hyunmoo begs Jae's brother to bring them back safely. Namu goes alone to the dog farm. He confronts his father, John. John lies that Jae is already dead, seeing blood on the chair. Namu loses control. He's about to attack when Jae's voice echoes in his mind. Namu calms down. He knows John's way. John would kill Jae right before his eyes. So Namu is sure Jae is still alive. Seeing this, John taunts Namu again. He says, if Namu doesn't act now, Jae will surely die. Namu remembers the advice from people close to him. He drops the hammer in his hand. "If I kill you, many people will suffer because of me. To atone for your sins, I became a cop. Even when I'm hurt and in pain, I never cry out. I just endure it. Even asking what I did wrong is painful for me. I did nothing wrong. You're the one who made me like this." Namu tells John, "Even if I share your blood, you don't deserve to be my father, because you're just a cowardly killer and trash abandoned by the world." John gets angry at Namu's words. The two start fighting. John is quickly overpowered by Namu. Meanwhile, Ji is locked in another room. She mocks John's lover for being foolish. She says the woman is just one of John's many pawns. Angered, John's lover grabs a needle and tries to stab Ji. But Jae fights back and wins. Jae quickly picks up the phone and calls the police. John threatens Namu to let him go or the woman next door will kill Jae. Namu surprises John and knocks him down. Then Jae bursts into the room. Now it's Jae's turn to protect Namu. John angrily swings at them. Namu fights with all his strength to save Jae. Namu breaks John's fingers. He pins John against the wall. The police arrive at the scene. John loses completely, but John still doesn't give up. He grabs a police officer's gun and tries to fight back. Namu takes the gun. He points it at his father, John. Just when everyone thinks Namu will lose control, he shoots John in the leg. The battle between father and son finally ends. Hyunmoo gets the punishment he deserves for hurting people. But this time is different. This time, Hyunmoo has family waiting for him. The killer John goes back to prison. The dark clouds fade away. The sun shines warmly again. Namu and Jae save each other from their unfair fate. They become each other's support.